and a major update when it comes to what the charging decision will be. So let's go out right now to Los Angeles Fox 11's Phil Schuman joining us here tonight with the details. Phil.
Well, we're live from the famed Laugh Factory on Sunset Boulevard, where just a short time ago, the Los Angeles City Attorney announced 4 misdemeanor charges against the suspect, 2 of them battery and possession of a weapon, in this case a knife, with intent to assault. Now, there are a lot of people who felt that this should have been a felony assault, which would carry much stronger penalties, but that is not the case today.
Make some noise for hip-hop history.
The district attorney's office chose not to file a felony assault charge against the suspect in Tuesday night's attack, saying the evidence as presented did not constitute felony conduct.
I'm shocked and I'm confused and honestly I'm angered.
That was the reaction of comic Tehran. He witnessed the attack Tuesday night at the Hollywood Bowl. We spoke today at the Comedy Store, where security post-Oscars has already been upgraded. Tehran also has a law degree, but doesn't practice. He says misdemeanor? No.
It was premeditated, pre-orchestrated, and clearly organized. He had intent, he had an agenda.
Mark DeBow is a lawyer.
I would file it as a felony because of the deterrence value of it.
He just retired as a deputy DA under George Gascón. He supports the recall, says this decision, where the suspect had a replica handgun with a knife attached, is an example of what's wrong with Gascón's approach.
That knife is a concealed weapon, dirk or dagger, to which he had immediate access. That's a wobbler. That could be filed as a felony.
Back at the Laugh Factory, owner Jamie Masada has not only installed metal detectors, he's adding security guards, even plainclothes officers to be in the audience. A sign of the times he does not welcome.
We have to do for safety of our comic.
So back live, I apologize in that piece, Mike. I think I mentioned the Comedy Store, which is another famous venue here. I meant to say the Laugh Factory, which is where we spoke to Jamie Masada. And so if you've been following the story here from Southern California, you know that District Attorney George Gascón, who's in his first term, is under fire. He's the subject of a recall effort from those who feel that, to use a term, he's soft on crime, something that he denies. But they're saying this decision not to file a felony charge against the suspect in the Chappelle case is an example of what they say is what's wrong with Gascón's approach, that he should be sending a strong message that this type of behavior is not tolerated. And that ex-DA Mark DeBow, who you heard from in there, he used the term wobbler. That's a term used in law enforcement or in the district attorney's or the city attorney's offices when there's a case that could be filed as a misdemeanor, it could be filed as a felony depending on your interpretation of the relevant laws. And he said in this case this definitely could have been filed as a felony, which means much more potential for state prison time, especially if you have a prior record, because the suspect had a knife, had a concealed weapon, and clearly intended to assault Chappelle on stage. I mean, the other part of this is that, you know, the post-Oscars environment. You heard that the Laugh Factory here has already installed metal detectors. They're increasing the number of security guards. They're actually going to have plainclothes officers in the audience. There's the feeling that since Will Smith essentially got away with what could have been a criminal assault, that there's copycats, there's those who feel that they somehow have a license to attack performers on stage. The Hollywood Bowl and the LAPD investigating security breaches, of course, that resulted in that the other night. Part of the problem is this was during the encore, Mike, and a lot of people had started to leave, and there's a feeling that some of the security presence that had been around the front of the stage may have been slightly relaxed at that point, and that enabled the suspect to come out of his seat and charge at Chappelle, who's very lucky he wasn't seriously hurt or worse.
Yeah, definitely. When you see that weapon there and how it was all portrayed there, definitely a great report there, Phil. Thanks for bringing it to us, and really disturbing, I think, on a lot of levels where people hear no felony, just misdemeanors here at this point. Phil, a lot of people want to know what would it have to take to get a felony? I mean, would he have to like stab him? Is that what it comes down to these days?
Well, there's reports in the LA Times, which I have not been able to personally confirm, that the key factor was that the weapon wasn't brandished. Chappelle wasn't threatened with it. that yes, if he had it in his hand and he tried to stab Chappelle or had stabbed Chappelle or somebody else, then we'd be looking at felony assault with a deadly weapon charges. But apparently the rationale is that because he just had it in his backpack, that the evidence presented, as the DA's statement said, wasn't felony conduct. But as you heard from the interview that I did with Mark DeBow, who spent literally 30 years as a prosecutor and was a deputy DA, was a public defender before that, he said absolutely the law allows prosecutors to file this as a felony because he had that knife and had access to it.
All right, Phil Shuman breaking it all down for us this evening. We appreciate it. Thanks so much for the update.
Okay.
Of course, we always got you covered right here on Live Now from Fox. Let's slide away for another quick 2-minute break. Stay right here with us. More to come in just moments.